Hey, everybody, and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, having a wonderful weekend. The weather was cool and crisp, but the sun was shining everywhere. Today was the perfect day to get out and go shopping, take care of some of those last minute details that you need to do before the holiday next weekend. And speaking of the holiday next weekend, Book Chat with Vivian Moore will not be on, will not broadcast next Saturday because of the weekend, because of Christmas that is coming up. And I know that that's a busy time for everybody that celebrates the holidays. So I don't want to impede upon that. And so we'll pick the show back up the weekend before New Year's. And I think that will be a great time to do a show to celebrate the new year that will be coming in, and doing it with a brand new show. So that's something to look forward to that's coming up. And just how we do it on Saturdays, I will give you the opportunity to go and get you something to write with and something to write on, so we can get these URLs out of the way. So if you'll run and do that, I'll gather my paper that I need to give you out this information. So when you're ready, raise your hand. Okay, here we go. The first one is, of course, to my Spreaker account, which is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian E. Moore. You can also check me out on Facebook and other social media, which the Facebook is https://facebook.com/Vivian E. Moore. I also have Pinterest pages out there. If you would like to go out there and check it out, I'll give you that URL as well. It's https://www.pinterest.com/Vivian Moore 48. My Twitter handle is God's Property 46. You can also check me out on Instagram, which is https://Instagram.com/God's Property 51. And also my lovely website, which is https://vivianmore.wixsite.com/author Vivian E. Moore. And last but not least, my blog site, which is vivianemore.blogsite.com. And you can also check out the show, which is uploaded onto iTunes each Saturday, as well as the blog is listed on my blog site, as well as on my Amazon authors page. So there are numerous ways for you to reach out to me. And if you like today's show, tell me so. Drop me a message. Like it. You can follow me. All of that on Spreaker. If you have the app made available to you, all you have to do is download it and just look me up on it, and boom, you're ready to go. So on that note, we're going to move on to today's show. The title of today's show is Raise Your Hand If You're Sure. And the topic of today's show is building confidence. Introverted, I was never outspoken as a child, teenager, or young adult. I was the wallflower who blended in with the background as much as possible. This was a safe zone for me. If I was invisible, no one could see or hear me. My first year of school was traumatic. Not because I didn't understand, but because I was exposed to things that frightened me. I was never the child who raised her hand in class. Although I knew the answer, I was too afraid to speak up. However, remaining ambiguous, it wasn't an option chosen for my life. You see, God had bigger plans for me than what I did for myself. Of course, I rebelled against this, not in a vociferous manner, but I went into full shutdown mode, just enclosing around myself like a black hole. No matter how much I fought against the universe that forced me from the background into the forefront, it became crystal clear the battle was futile. Life placed me in situations where I could no longer remain silent. You see, I grew up in a family of strong individuals who were boisterous as they came, no matter how much my mother said that under certain circumstances, you were made to be seen and not heard. My siblings fought against that idea. Me, however, I was fine with it. The quieter, the better, is what I said. At the time, I didn't understand or question why she said this, though I agreed with the philosophy. You see, my parents grew up in an era where their rights as citizens were impugned every day. They couldn't speak out from fear of retribution. They did what they needed to do to survive. Maybe this was the source of my insecurities and that contributed to my condition. Fear silences many voices, hopes, and dreams. Now I've realized that if you have dreams and want to achieve your goals, you must not remain silent, but build confidence. The greatest enemy that stands in the way to success is not always attributed to an outside source. Now, I remember the commercial. I don't know if you remember it or not because this ran quite a few years back. And I really can't even tell you what they were talking about, what the premise of the commercial was. But I do remember this one thing that was said, and what it was, we have met the enemy and he is us. Truer words were never spoken, although I have to admit at the time, I just didn't get that either. Later, it clicked with me, and I got it. It was telling me that I was standing in the way of my own abilities by being unsure, afraid to step out on faith. Most times, that's all we have to go on. It is our guarantee that whatever we are trying to do, we are not left alone to fend for ourselves or feel our way through the dark without having a safeguard. We all need confidence builders, someone or something that empowers us to go after our dreams, to be sure and confident that if we are not successful on the first try, to get up and start again. Like they say, it ain't over till it's over. We must encourage ourselves before we can encourage those around us. I received that from my family in an obscure way. I didn't realize that through their protest to remain anything but silent, that I obtained the perfect illustration for what would later become my battle cry. Because they were and still are an outspoken bunch of people, they fought against the radical idealism of being invisible, not seen, and not heard. They faced many more obstacles than being extremely shy. They grew up in a time where you were persecuted for being outspoken. They had to fight for everything that I took for granted in my young life. I didn't experience the hard times of being denied equal rights because of the skin you were in. I know we've come a long way by faith, but history always repeats itself. Nevertheless, I learned from them that although insurmountable obstacles stood in their way, they stood their ground, and the fears that otherwise would have kept them from achieving their goals, they persevered despite this. There are many ways to build your confidence, such as surrounding yourself with positive people and not someone who would tell you what you want to hear opposed to what you need to hear. Through positive thinking, visualization, if you can see it, you can do it. Affirmation, I can, therefore I will. A daily dose of self-esteem boosting works better than a daily supply of vitamin C. Remember, you are your own worst critic, but you can still build confidence through your personal critiques. It allows you to see where you are the weakest and then work on that area. Along the way, I've received many confidence builders from family and friends, and most of all, because of my faith. So never be afraid to lift your hands and voices high. Building confidence is a major part of any strategy to success. All right, folks, that's all I have for today, and I hope that you took something from this that will help you, on your journey to wherever it is you're trying to be, whether it's writing a book, whatever your art form is. I just want to encourage you. I want to build you up, and not on false hopes or anything on that level. I just want to build you up, letting you know that you are as good as you think you are. But you have to work hard to get to where you want to be. Work is always involved, and I've always heard this, that if you want something bad enough, then you will work hard for it. And I believe that wholeheartedly, because writing is something that is very competitive when it comes to selling books, because there are so many writers in this world, so many new writers emerging onto the scene. And that just strengthens the competition level. So you really have to be on your A game in this profession, because it's not easy. It may be easy to sit down and actually write a book, but when it comes to being competitive in this market, you really, 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 really got to reach high. And so that means that your self-esteem, your confidence, all of these things have to be in play. Because if they're not there, if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody else will either. So you got to believe in you first. And I'm not saying to be arrogant, about your skills, because to me that's just totally unnecessary. You don't ever have to involve arrogance in anything that you're doing. But what I am saying is that you need to make sure that that you want it bad enough, and that you have people around you that will encourage you on a daily basis, and it doesn't even have to be them constantly telling you how good you are as a writer, or, just hyping you up. You don't need that. You just need to believe in you, and they will believe in you. And sometimes, just a simple word, I got your back. You're doing a great job. Things like that, or they're strength builders. They encourage you to keep moving forward. And we need that as human beings. We don't necessarily need praise, but sometimes we need to hear that you're doing a good job, that you're doing well, that you're doing something great. We all need to hear that every once in a while, because like I said, it does encourage us to keep going, to keep moving, and to keep people around us that are positive. And, because nobody wants someone, in their corner to tell you that it's raining outside, it's storming outside,